So the next thing we're going to do is actually start displaying some stuff for the Pokedex. So what we want is a list of all of the Pokemon that's in the Pokedex. And this is quite a small Pokedex, so it's just going to be 26 Pokemon, the first 26 Pokemon. We're not going to really worry about styles or anything like that. We're just going to worry about the content. So we want to display this set of Pokemon on the index page. So what we will do is jump to the root file and create a prop for all of the Pokemon so that they can be displayed on that page. So what we've done here is we've created an inline type called PokemonListItem. It has an ID and a name. This is just to represent the list of Pokemon we're going to send back as JSON. We create an array of these Pokemon list items, and we populate that using all of the Pokemon that are in the fake Pokemon database. So we just loop over them and then append them to this Pokemon array, and you can see we're just creating new Pokemon list item structs here. Then we're going to sort everything that's in this array by using the slices sort function. We pass in the all Pokemon array and then give it a function that specifies how to sort them. So we're going to sort them by comparing their IDs. And the reason we need to do this is that since the DB is a map, its order is not guaranteed in Go. So we just want to sort them to make sure that all of the Pokemon that are in this list come out in the same order every time. We then take that all Pokemon array and we're just going to add it as a prop here to our props for the page. Then we're going to update our index page so that we can actually see this list of Pokemon. So I'm going to get rid of most of the stuff here. So here we now take the all Pokemon prop. We display a simple Pokedex H1 header. We're going to loop over all of the Pokemon, destructure each one to get the ID and name as we specified in the Pokemon list item over here. Then we're going to output a load of list items to list all of the Pokemon. And then a few things we want to do is get rid of this example prop, and then we can simplify this by simply returning these list items. I'll restart the dev server and give that a test. And here we can see we have our list of Pokemon being rendered. Next, we're going to add some simple styling, just using inline styles. This should center our list of Pokemon on the index page. And since it's something in the components, we don't need to restart the server because we're using the Vite dev server, which will reload the component for us. Now we're going to look to create a page and a page handler to render the Pokemon. So we're going to start by adding a new root. So here we've added a handler for the root Pokemon with a ID parameter, and it will prepare a set of props for the Pokemon page. So we get the ID from the parameter, we use this to look up the Pokemon in the fake database, we get the name, we define a function to clamp the next or previous Pokemon, and then we create a header using the Pokemon's name. We then prepare our props. We have header, number, name. We have the next Pokemon, which is just the ID number +1. The previous Pokemon, which is the ID number -1. We have the type, which is just the type field in the Pokemon info object. We have the stats, which is the base field in the Pokemon info object. And the clamp function is just going to check that it does not return an ID number that's outside of the range of Pokemon that is in the DB. If it does, it will just return -1 as an error flag. So we can give that a save, and then we'll look to adding a Pokemon page component. So we'll add a new page component called Pokemon. But before we add this, we just need to make sure we change the name of the page here to Pokemon, just to make sure we're loading the correct page component. And let's jump back to this. And we're going to use the root for the Pokemon page to list our props. So here we've made changes to this new Pokemon page component to render all of the props we've been given. So header, number, name, next Pokemon, previous Pokemon, type, and stats. We get a padded version of the Pokemon number, use that in the header, and to retrieve an image of the Pokemon, we list out all of the types that apply to the Pokemon, we list the stats, and then finally we give a link to the previous Pokemon, if there is one, a link back to the Pokedex, and a link back to the next Pokemon, if there is one. To get to this page, we're going to make some changes to the index page so that we can link to these Pokemon pages. So now we've added a link from the Pokedex index page to the individual Pokemon pages. I'm going to restart the dev server and give it a test. You can see here we have links. It jumps to the page and you can navigate between the various Pokemon pages. We're going to do a minor style update just to make the individual Pokemon pages look better. So we just need to import this CSS file. We'll just move this class name that I've put on the wrong field. I'll just increase the size here as well. And we should be able to give that a test. So here we can see our Pokemon pages. And if we look at the network, we can see that these are all inertia responses. If I refresh the page, which causes a full page refresh, you get an HTML document with the component embedded in it, but all subsequent requests after that are then inertia responses. Same with going back to the Pokedex. And finally, I can just clean up some of the roots that we had, so I can get rid of the example page root and delete that component. I'll restart dev server one last time, and then we can see the app running. Just to finish this off, we've only set this up for development mode. There are some changes you can make to this to make it suitable for production, but I won't go into that. Hey everyone, if you've made it all the way to the end, thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you think.